Hello, I'm Christina with The Turned Leg. I love to salvage, repurpose, and create and help others to do the same. And if you're new here, let me just give you a little backstory. I have been a booth owner since 2015, and over time I have expanded and switched booths and done all of the things. I currently have quite a lot of space at Plaza Antiques and Collectibles Mall in Lincoln Park, Michigan. And I am so excited and a little terrified because I've been given additional space to expand. I think this will be very helpful for me to take all of you along on the journey. Whether you are a brand new booth owner or a booth owner wannabe, I think it'll be extremely helpful. And even if you currently have a booth and are thinking about expanding, it should kind of give you an idea of everything that's involved, and I hope help you prepare. If you are renting a booth space, normally you have to wait a little bit, even after you get the booth space. Like you're told, okay, you can have a booth. My booth space I will be getting will not be available until March 1st. So I pretty much have had a whole month knowing that I will have a booth. Now I could just kind of kick back and relax, but I've done this booth thing for a while and I know how much work is involved, and I'm trying to get prepared. And I want to show you some of the things I've been doing this month to help me prepare. So if you get the go ahead for your booth or you're considering, I hope it will make you even further along and it won't make everything so crazy and hectic when you set up, because it's going to be crazy enough, right? It is so much work. Let's try to do as much as we can ahead of time. As I mentioned, I've known for a month I have to prepay for my booth space, so I'm currently already paying for that expansion. And I want to make sure the minute I can get into that space, I'm ready to go with inventory and I can make my money back. The number one thing I'm doing right now is I am finishing my projects. My projects hang out in my garage and or the basement of my house. It is surprising, but my garage and basement really don't have that many projects. They have a few of those projects I've kind of put in DIY time out where they're things they weren't so much fun to work on, or I got to a weird stopping spot, or I couldn't find hardware. And so I've just kind of pushed them to the back. And now, since I need more furniture and more pieces for my booth, they are what I have to work with. I'm not going to just ignore them and go looking for new items. I'm already putting out plenty of money on my new booth space. So now is the time to work on finishing those projects. One of the little tips that I'm trying to do while I'm waiting is the whole time I'm waiting, I'm trying to do one extra thing a day. So I have my normal routine. I have all the stuff I have to do. I have all the things with picking up my daughter and meal prep and running a business and having an antique booth. But I'm trying to make sure to squeeze in one thing to help me with booth prep. And some days that's going towards finishing those projects. Another thing I'm doing, and this is kind of fun, although you can lose a lot of time, so you really gotta kind of like give yourself time blocks, is get inspired for your new space. You want your new space to be cool, you want to have some good displays, and it's a good time to check out other antique malls. In fact, I have a whole bunch of videos here where you can see that I've toured other antique malls and get some creative inspiration for display ideas. Or you can go to retail locations near you, or you can even jump on Pinterest. I know that is one of my favorite places, and if you already have a Pinterest board for display, scroll through those ideas, see what might work for you. I've been doing a lot of that, and one of the things I'm really focusing in on is I want more salvage in my new booth. Now, I might not be able to come right away because getting the items in is going to be top priority, Building around and building the displays itself, I understand might take more time. I'm sure you've already seen some of the displays I've built in my current location. And a lot of those didn't happen right away when I moved in. Sometimes you really have to kind of live in a space, get used to it, find out what works best with moving things around to really decide what you need. So I do have a little notebook. Yes, I'm a pen and paper girl, where I'm just kind of keeping a running list of things I have to do right on the front. I also keep a to-do list in my phone, and I don't do it to overwhelm me. It's just so I don't forget things. And they might not be an all to do today, but just kind of a running list. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that for the booth. I don't want to forget about it. So I'm putting everything somewhere so I have it. I'm also, because you guys know me, I'm so visual, I'm drawing some of my display ideas. I'm writing some rough notes. Are these definitely going to happen? I don't know. I mean, that's the answer. I really don't know. The booth space that I'm going to be moving into has some structures. I don't know how much she is taking or leaving. Is it going to be completely a blank slate? Am I going to have to work with some of the things that are there? I won't really know until my move-in date. So I don't want to have anything set and then go, oh, well, that's not going to work, and I have to change gears. I'm trying to make it just some ideas at this point. There's things I know I need to do right now instead of just get caught up in the dream world of displays. Dreaming up ideas for display is something I'm saving as a little reward for myself in the evenings or when I have a few chunks of time. But you got to be careful you don't spend too much time in that area because you got work to do. The good news is my new booth does have electricity, so it is wired. I know how many outlets it has. I am allowed a big plug strip for every outlet, and then as long as my cords go directly into it, I'm good. So I've already gone out and purchased a whole bunch of really big electrical cords. I get them from Harbor Freight. I'll put information in the description box below for everything that I'm talking about. I also have an Amazon affiliate link that I'll put down below, and it shows a lot of the items that I use for my booth. So I hope this will help you if you're looking for some good resources of things I like. As far as electrical though, you really need to check with your antique mall and find out what is allowed, what can you do, what can't you do if you have electricity. Another thing I'm gonna get as far as lighting for my booth is I right now have, they kind of look like Edison lights that are on a string. They're meant for outdoors. I have them on the other side of the mall. I'm going to put them in my new space. I really like them. So I've pre-ordered those. I already have them. I'll be ready to put them up when the time comes. I am holding out though on clamp lights and LEDs and some of the other things that I'm probably gonna do, but until I lay out my displays, I don't wanna buy more than I need at this time. One of the things though I did buy was a bunch more of 100-watt daylight light bulbs. You guys probably already have heard me talk about them. The daylight bulbs are my favorite. I think the crisp white light really makes a difference when you are shopping. It really brightens up the space and makes people want to go in and shop, and also they can see everything so much better. So if you've never tried the daylight bulbs, you might want to give them a try in your booth space and let me know what you think of them. Next thing I've really been working on is inventory. I am increasing my booth 60%. So I need to make sure I have enough stuff to make it look full, to make shoppers want to shop. I'm not just going to go out and buy all of these things. Remember, I'm already taking a hit because I'm paying my rent a month in advance. So I don't want to spend more than I have to. The first thing I'm doing is I'm going through my storage areas in my garage and my home, and I'm going through all of those things that have been pushed aside, or you really keep forgetting to bring in, or you didn't even remember existed. I'm kind of doing a deep cleaning of my garage and my basement to locate items that I can use in this new space. I'm also taking the time to price and package them up and label the outside of the box. So once I get the big pieces in, I can grab these boxes as needed. I'll know what's in them, they're priced, and they'll be set to go. Pricing things before you bring it in saves you so much time. And I have been also doing a little bit of thrifting. Thrifting is one of the things I like to do when I'm feeling stressed. So I am looking a little bit, and I am going a little bit more this month than I normally do, because I know next month I'm probably going to be so busy with my new booth space, I'm not going to have a lot of time. But I'm trying to really keep a handle on my budget. Is this something I really need in the space? For instance, I'm aware right now, because I've done all of this inventory check, I have a lot of small items. I'm missing the medium-sized things, like the barrels and the suitcases and the crates and things like that. Really small, like end tables and pieces. Those are things, if I can find them thrifting at a good price, I'm gonna pick up, because they're gonna really help me with my displays. The other inventory that I am restocking now is my wholesale inventory. You see, I don't just have vintage goods in my booth, I also sell paint and stencils and decoupage paper and paint brushes and all of the things. I'm making sure my current wholesale inventory is stocked. So I'm not gonna have to deal with ordering or running low or restocking it in March. I can really focus in on my new booth space. Another thing I have tackled is something I have been dreading in my booth for the longest time. A while back, I shared what I used to carry in my bag back and forth to the antique mall, and you can check out that video here if you haven't seen it. Since my booth has grown, I now have some permanent spots that I'm able to store those items, which is great. But normally, when I'm restocking my space, or when I need those like tools and supplies and things, I'm always in a rush, always cramming things in. I'm not putting them back where I should. So I spent some time pulling everything out, cleaning everything up, and organizing it. I found some things I had to bring home. I found some things I had a ton of, like tape measures. I had 3. I don't need 3 tape measures at the antique mall. So now I also have a really good handle on the materials that I have in my booth and what I'm going to need more of. So I'm not going to be buying things that I already had in my space. It's really important, I think, now to get yourself extra organized so that you know what you have. Okay, I have sticky hooks. I have the right size screws that I need. I have that plate holder that I'm going to be needing for that item. This will help you so much. And it's going to save you money from buying extras of things you don't need. Another thing that I'm really trying to prepare myself for the new space is making sure I have signage. Yes, it's all one big booth space, but I want to make sure that I have plenty of business cards. Because my space is large, I'm going to be putting them out in multiple locations. I think I'm going to make sure I have the turned leg somewhere in the new space. I have an old sign that I took down because the board broke, and I'm going to be working on putting it back together so I can place it somewhere in my booth. I don't think it's a bad idea that you have lots of signage in your booth space. And also, if you've never made business cards and you're getting a new booth space, or you're just starting out, now is the perfect time. On the back of my business card, I also make sure to put the location of my booth. So if I'm going out and doing a show somewhere, I can send people back to my booth space to shop more if they want. Another thing I've been doing a lot of is I'm prepping my current booth space, and actually I'm kind of overloading it. You see, this whole booth prep move thing, it's going to be done mostly by me in my van. And it's not that big of a van, and I'm not that strong of a person. So if I can start bringing in some items into my current booth space, and then when it's time, I can slide those items down, it's gonna make a lot more of this manageable for me, and I won't be doing tons and tons of trips in one day and lifting a bunch of stuff. You want to be smart. You don't want to get injured and you don't want to overdo. So I'm fine right now with my booth being a little bit cluttered and having a little more items than I normally would. I might sell more. I mean, it could be helpful, right? More stuff might sell. I don't know. It's bordering cluttered right now and I don't really like the look of it. But I know when I start to get my new space, I'm going to be so happy that all of the items are already there. I just have to make them pretty. Another thing I'm doing, and this obviously would be for those of you that already have a booth, is I've really been taking a hard look at what's been working in my booth. And by working, I mean inventory, I mean displays, I mean time management for myself, lighting, all of the things. What's working? What's not working? What do I like to do? What do I not like to do? And I'm trying to keep these things all in mind for the new booth display. You want to build your booth so it's going to work the absolute best for you and for your customers. So one of the things I've done to help me with this is I've created just a video of me walking through my booth. And as I'm going through, if there's things that like annoy me or I don't like, or I keep forgetting to fix or change, I am recording it. Oh yeah, that's too tight there. Make sure your walk spaces are like this, or oh, I need more lights here, or you know, we need a curtain here because there's too much sunlight, or whatever it is. And I'm going to play that back a few times. It's also going to tell me the inventory I already have at the mall, and it's going to remind me what I like and what I don't like. So when I'm building out my new display, I can keep these things in mind. And I wanted to go, oh, I got to go to the mall because I don't remember. No, I have a record and a copy with that video of what I already have set up. Video for me is so helpful. I can take a quick video in my booth, not worry if there's a customer or two in there, and then take it home and really digest it and pause it and fast forward it and rewind it and zoom in on things so that I can figure out exactly the information that I was looking for. Another thing I'm doing to prep for March, and my mom has been teasing me because she's like, every time you do this, you always over plan. And then you say it's gonna take you weeks and it doesn't really take you that long and you don't really need to. I would much rather be over planned and over prepared and over like blacked out in my calendar so that when I get it done, I can go, huh, that wasn't too bad. Because I know if I'm not doing all of this legwork ahead of time, it can be that bad. So one of the things I'm doing in my personal life is I've already told my daughter, I've already told my mom, who is our next door neighbor, like, I am going to be busy. Don't plan on me. I'm going to be doing X, Y, and Z. I might be late. I might need help with our puppy dog and letting him outside and all of the things. I also might need help with meals so we can just defrost or crock pot or whatever. So that's going to be one less thing I have to worry about. I don't want to rely on only like fast food and unhealthy things while I'm doing this because I don't want to make myself run the risk of getting sick or something that would even slow down the process more. I want to eat healthy while I'm going through the booth overhaul. I want to have energy so I can stay on top of it and make beautiful displays. Another thing I've done is I've already told my daughter, like, I'm going to need extra help. So after school, if you want to help me, if you have some friends, maybe I could even pay them to do a few things, let me know. And I think asking for help is something we don't do, but when you are setting up your booth or your new booth space, you need to ask for as much help as you can get. And asking for help is hard, but I think it's really important and really essential. When I get done with this booth space, I'm going to have a booth tour and I'm going to share it with all of you. I also want to have like a grand reopening party too. I don't want to be exhausted. I want to be able to share this with my customers and be able to enjoy it. So I'm trying to do a little preparing now so that when the time comes, March 1st, it'll make things a little bit easier. For those experienced booth owners who are watching, if there's anything I still need to do in this month of planning and I've forgotten it, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for all of your support and for watching my channel. By the way, if you really like this information and you want more like behind the scenes, I have a private booth owners business group on Facebook. It is a paid membership group, but every week I do a live within the group. We have topics, we answer questions, and we network and support one another. There's also tons of past lives and information there. So if you're someone who is looking for some help and support and would like a little bit more community and you like what I offer here, you can check out the link in the description box below for my Facebook business group to get more information. We'd love to have you in the group. Thank you again for watching. I hope you found this information helpful. Now get out there to salvage, repurpose, and create.